Time for exercise. All right, so we've got our assistant Stacy here with us. So one thing that I figured out over the last week, and I've said this to clients for years, and it was just like, hey, get up, move around during the week. Well, this is a good example for me of how difficult that is because, over the last week, I've been sitting a little bit more, as I said, and what I found is like, man, all of a sudden 2 hours went by, I didn't move because I'm focused on something. Now I understand, I feel you a little bit more, which is good for me to learn. What I encourage everybody to do is then just use your phone as a timer because we're all going to be working right now. And if you're at a task or you're not in a meeting or something like that, just go ahead and set a timer for yourself to get up and move around. Now, on to today's exercise. For the last week, I talked about, lower body exercise with the squat, upper body with a row, and upper body with a push-up. So I didn't cover anything with trunk work, and a lot of people will call it core. I just prefer to use the word trunk. So we're using this area right in here, so your spine, able to move, and that's what we're going to start with today, is actually this trunk flexion, okay? Now, there's some prerequisites that we want to check before we even get into the exercise. And since I'm starting with trunk flexion, we're going to, or a crunch exercise essentially, I wanted to go through you with what I work with my clients on when I see them in person. So I want to check out their range of motion capabilities. So with Stacy here, we're going to go ahead and check how well she flexes, goes forward, and how well she extends, goes backwards, okay? So for you at home, what you do is you just sit on a chair, try to keep balance between your butt cheeks so you're not rocking forward, you're not rocking backwards, and you want to think about just crunching. So you kind of imagine the middle of your circle, middle of the wheel is right here. Here's your axis-ish, okay? And then what I want you to do, so that's how far she can go forward. Now, she extends up and back. That's how far she can extend. This little curve right here, relax, is very important because if you're at home now and you have one of those, stability balls that us fitness people say, hey, do some crunches on it. Well, this is important to know how far you can extend back because that curvature and gravity when you're on there can maybe, if you can only extend back to here, this is your extension, and then that ball and gravity pushes you back here, that might not be so good for the spine, okay, and the joints in the spine. Just something to be aware of, check it. But now that we have Stacy, and we know her range of motion, we're going to go ahead and set up the basic, and then we're going to progress over the next couple of days for crunches. So with her, the chair is set fine, but I needed to put a couple bolsters here for her, and I just did these. I bought these on RTS123.com, so you can go on there and buy these too, these little wedges. We're going to go ahead and put this here for her. She's going to get back against it. Now, the simplest thing that you can do is an isometric. So that's what we're going to try to do. Not try, we're going to do. I'm going to have you cross your arms. Now, you have somebody at home with you. This is an easy exercise to have you work with them, okay? So what I want you to do is lower your arms across your chest, and I want you to crunch as far as you can. Now, what you can have them do is put their arm firmly across where the X is on your arms, okay? And what I want you to do then is the person who's applying the force, I'm trying to go that way, all right? And so what I'm going to do is just ready, begin, and I'm applying it. She's tightening up, and I'm using my arm. I'm controlling it. So if I were to really push it, I got to jump in there really hard. The other option is you're the barrier, and she pushes into you, or the person sitting here exercising is pushing into you, the person holding, and relax. Now, you can do that at all these different angles, all right? So she's here, and I might just say, hey, let's go ahead and now push that way, okay? And begin. You can see here, she's getting a little bit more of a relax. I'm getting a workout, but she is getting a little bit more of a contraction when she's in this angle rather than in this angle. So that's pretty cool. Now, another exercise is we want to progress that. You do the isometric, you're like, hey man, I've really got that down. I can do that. So what I want to do for this is add an exercise too for it. A lot of people have been sending me messages. A lot of my clients have these at home. So this is great use of these, okay, for a crunch exercise. So we're in the chair, we have the bolster. I'm using our ottoman, and for a little bit more restraint, I put our kettlebell on it. just to make sure she has a little bit something to push into and she's not sliding, and she can generate more tension that way. So she's going to now take the handles, wrap it around, and then the person who's helping, who your partner, your spouse, whatever, is working with you, you come up at a little bit of angle. So whatever that angle is off a flat here, I'd say maybe 30 degrees. And then what I'm instructing her to do is just think about taking the bottom of her rib cage down towards her waistband. And begin. Now the cool thing about this, and then slowly come back towards me, lifting that rib cage up towards the ceiling or away from your waistband, and then forward. You are getting some arm work there. We're not isolating anything, but we're trying to emphasize those crunchy muscles, okay, the abdomen. And what we're going to do is just repeat that for, a challenge. Like we talked about last week, set the challenge up to where you want it. Relax. Now, if you don't have somebody to help you, I've had a lot of coworkers or colleagues that are sending home gyms that they're setting up in their basement. Scott McWilliam did a great job of setting a zip ties up on a pole that he has in his basement, and then he's able to anchor that with some carabiners, okay? And you can do that, then you can make that adjustable for how well you move. So that would be something that I would think about trying. Thanks for everybody. Thank you for listening to today's exercise tip. Make a comment in the bottom if you've been able to try it, or if you have another way to anchor this or make the exercise even better for all of us.